Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Uchino Amate here for those of you who do not know, and for those of you who may have forgotten. Yes, because I know that it's been a while since I put out any new videos. It's been more than a minute. I mean, a little over a year, right? If I'm not mistaken. But if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the post notification button so that you can see whenever I post new videos. And while you're here, you can, get acquainted. You can watch my older videos and get with the program. If you're a returning subscriber, like I always say, you are the real deal. Like, big love. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for being here. I know that I've not been on my best behavior because I've not been putting out videos, but I'm thankful that you stuck with me. You've been sticking with me, and that is why I decided that, you know what, let me do a little bit of a life update, right? At least to explain my absence from you all. So let's get right into it. So story time, guys. For the most part of last year, 2022, there were days when I couldn't walk, right? I had a lower back problem that extended to my right thigh. So it made sitting, standing, laying down, practically everything. It made it so difficult. I had this stiffness and terrible pain that would keep me up at night, take sleep away from me. I was constantly up at night crying from so much pain and discomfort. It made everything hard to do. I was already going through something mentally, and just when I was getting out of that mental funk, then my body decided to shut down on me. I have for the longest time experienced lower back issues, right? When I stand for too long, when I sit for too long, which is mostly what I do in my day job. Sitting down for too long, writing my reports, or standing for too long, hosting meetings or moderating meetings and events. So I know that over the years, when I do this for an extended period of time, I'll experience a bit of a discomfort. But what was different with the pain of last year was that I think it intensified. It was like nothing I've ever experienced before in my life. And it was a terrible time. I decided that, okay, let me go seek some medical attention and try to get help. And that was one of the worst experiences of my life. Like, you guys, if you're in Nigeria, you know that the healthcare system is nothing to write home about, for lack of a better way to phrase it. But anyway, so I decided to go see the doctor, went through the whole process, trying to get an x-ray done. I was referred to the orthopedic doctor, and even trying to get my x-ray results after it was done at the teaching hospital. That one, it was a whole miracle to get the result out. Let me not bore you with the details. But then when I was referred to the orthopedic doctor, from my x-ray, he said that he feels like my spine is not as curved as it should be. So he feels that it might be interfering with my nerve. So he felt like that may be the cause of the problem. A bit of a backstory. Like I said, in the past, I've been experiencing lower back problems already. Not really intensified, just in small measures. And I also know that my parents suffer from arthritis, right? And I know that for me and my younger brother, at an early age, we would already experience stiffness on our legs, or the situation that happens where your leg freezes when you are trying to get up from bed. So I already experienced things like that from an early age. So now I'm back to, what I was going through in 2022. So I go to this orthopedic doctor. He does a physical examination. He tells me what he says about the x-ray and about my spine. And then he goes on to say, okay, I'll place you on these medications, which I felt were too strong for my body. You know, some prescription pills, Cocodamol, and the rest. And then he says that, oh, you will need an orthopedic belt. You will not believe that in the midst of everything that was going on with me, this doctor scammed me, guys. He scammed me. Okay. So he says you need an orthopedic belt, you know, something that you'd have to wear. It's going to help you with the spine issues, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to help you with, you know, the lower back pain. So he says. And I asked him, how do I go about getting it? He's like, yes, you can get one from the hospital, but I wouldn't recommend the hospital. Guys, listen, he is a doctor, right? He's a professional. Of course, I'll listen to him. And he's saying the one doctor is not durable, it's not good enough. I know a guy, is what he says, who I always refer my patients to. So he says, you make the payment to me, I would help you get the orthopedic belt. And so I give him, so I do a transfer to him of like, I think 21,500 or so. He tells me that that will be the cost of the orthopedic belt. And, you know, I was even telling him, you know, can't I get it at a reduced rate? And he was like, no, that's not possible. He gives me another appointment, next appointment on when I'm to get the belt. Now that appointment comes a few days later. I try to see him, I try to call him. He's not picking up my call. I send him messages. He reschedules and fixes a different date for me to get the belt. And this happened like on and off for, I think, about 2 weeks. Still couldn't get the belt. And then one of those days, I show up again at the hospital, call him. He says he's not there. He's seeing a patient out of the hospital. And then eventually refers me to where I can pick up the belt. I get to where I can pick up the belt, which is like a private hospital of some sort, a private clinic. I wait for the guy who refers me to. This guy comes and he's telling me, oh, you haven't made payment for the belt. Bear in mind, I have already given the money to the doctor. So I just asked him, how much is the belt? He now goes on to tell me that he makes the belt. And he shows me other types of belt that he also makes, the lumbar jacket, you know, things like that he makes and the process. And then I asked him, you said I haven't paid. How much am I supposed to pay you for the belt? And he says, no, what did the doctor tell you? I asked him, do you want your money or not? Tell me how much I'm supposed to pay you. And he tells me I'm supposed to pay him 12,000 naira. Bear in mind, I sent 21,000 naira, 400 or 500 to the doctor. And now this guy is telling me that the cost of the orthopedic belt that he makes is 12,000 naira. So then I now tell him, no problem, you get your money from the doctor. Don't worry, I've paid him, just give me the belt and I'll go. So I took the belt and then I decided that, you know what, let me send a message to the doctor. And then I sent him a message and I'm saying, oh, you know, thank you so much. I've picked up my belt. The guy says, I don't remember his name now, but let's say Mark. Mark says the belt costs 12,000 naira. Here is my account number. So you would send the money I had paid into your account for the belt. I don't hear from him that day. The next day I call him. He doesn't answer the call. Then he sends me a message. And then I call him again. And then he goes on about telling me, I can show you a receipt. It's 21,000. I can show you a receipt. Blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, you know what? I just decided to take my L. Like, if you, as a doctor whose responsibility is to aid people, save lives, you know, and help out in that way, and you decided to take advantage of someone else at a low point, then that's on you. I'll leave you to God, you know. So I was taking the medications and I wasn't even getting any better. It wasn't relieving the pain. Instead, it was, you know, affecting other parts of my health. It was affecting my tummy. It was making me too drowsy. Some of the drugs were also to aid me in sleeping as well because I was in so much pain. Now remember that because I was experiencing all of this in the right part of my body, I was having to depend on the left side of my body for support, to walk more. And then the 1st of July, while I was at home, I had a domestic accident. I busted my knee on a glass tabletop. It was such a deep cut. I had to get stitches for it. And when I tell you the pain, and I had to be immobile because I couldn't move. I lay in bed for days crying. I was in so much pain. It just felt like God wanted me to be still, like, because everything was happening to my physical body. But of course, because I was going through that physically, it started to affect me mentally as well, because I couldn't do the things I love. I couldn't be active. I was constantly just in pain, just indoors, laying on my bed. So it started to affect me mentally. I was so sad. I was so unhappy. And it was a tough time. So having to go through everything that was going on with my lower back, with my legs, with my knee. I don't think about that. You know what they say, when it rains, it pours. I, for some reason, started having an allergic reaction as well. I broke out in hives all over my body due to one of the sanitary towels I was using at one point. I think that last year, God forced me to stop. And I would ask severally, like those nights when I couldn't sleep and I'll wake up crying and in so much pain, and I'll be like, God, I'm a good person. Why am I going through this? And I would ask him, like, what are you trying to teach me in this moment? Like, why do I have to be still? Why can't I move? Why am I here? What is going on with my body? My body did not feel like my own. It didn't feel like me. It was almost like I was having like an out-of-body experience, you know? Like something was going on with this covering and it didn't feel like me. I was in so much pain, so much pain. And in the midst of all that, you know, I started reading a lot, researching a lot about lower back pain and about things I could do to ease up. I knew that I had to be doing some exercises because you have to stay active, otherwise it gets worse. So I started doing a bit of stretching. Yoga I had already started doing at the earlier part of the year at some point, because again, like I said, I was going through something mentally and I was trying to use exercise and wellness, you know, to take care of that before I now started experiencing this whole physical pain. So I started doing stretches again when I could. I started taking classes, paid some money to a lady somewhere I saw who was offering yoga classes. Started doing that for a bit, and then she had to undergo surgery. She became ill. I couldn't even complete my classes. My money went down the drain. Phew. She had to get surgery, and obviously she had to stop classes and everything. So I continued doing some stretches on my own and, you know, praying to God for a miracle, which I'm thankful. By faith, I am fully healed. I do experience some discomfort and pain as well, even now seated here, but it's nothing like it was last year. There were days when I couldn't move. There were days I would cry so much that I would get a headache from crying. But through it all, last year, there were also some pretty high moments for me. I became an auntie again for the 7th time. Yay! My little baby Annie, we had her in August. Because I was in such a funk, my friend who I love so much, her and her husband decided to, you know, take me out of town for a little bit. So we went to Uyo for another couple's wedding, and I needed that break. I needed that breather. I could be around something that could spark joy, because that's what weddings do that for me. They spark joy, and I could go to the beach. You know, the water makes me happy. Just being there and just leaving town briefly. I had to get an orthopedic bed because I had to make some lifestyle changes. They're just simple things that I do now to just try to aid like my back. You already know that I love to swim, so that helps me with exercising as well. I like to do stretches when I sit down. To support my back, I like to prop pillows. And then once I started to get better, I almost didn't want to do anything almost immediately. But right now I'm back. Hopefully. Amen. I'm back to start making videos for you. I miss doing this. I miss making videos. I miss coming on here, you know, to talk to you, to read from you. And I'm glad that I'm back, and hopefully, you know, I'm here for the long haul, right? Do you believe that I'm here for the long haul? I'm here for I'm here for the long haul. I'm here for a good time and I'm here for a long time. And I hope that I can do more sit down videos like this, because I think that this is the first time I'm doing a sit down video. So I'm hoping that I can do more sit down videos. I can do more story time. I'll be giving you gist. Now, 1 gist, 2 gist. I can be giving you a bit of, this and that. At least we can talk about things. We can talk about, my life experiences, everything, how I'm navigating life. Would you love to hear that? Let me know what you want me to talk about next, like a sit-down video. What you would want me to talk about. Yes. Tell me in the comment section. Tell me in the comments. Tell me in the comment section. I am open to sharing. I am open to talking to you. I have to go now. I don't want this video to be so long, but don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share. Listen, subscribe. When you find a good thing, what do? You share it. Share to your friends, to your parents, to your lovers, to your husbands, to your wives, to even your enemies. Give them joy, spark joy. Send this video. Share, tell them to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.